Hello, my friends. How you doing? It's your buddy Phil here, project management trainer and coach. Today's show, we're going to be talking about a very important topic. It kind of became number one on my priority list. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but over the weekend, for those of you who cared to turn on the TV, you probably know what happened at the Oscars. Will Smith dished out a crazy, hefty slap on Chris Rock's face, and that, in my opinion, is absolutely unacceptable. It shows a lack of self-control when it comes to exhibiting anger tendencies. I know that Chris made a joke at his wife's expense. It wasn't the best of jokes. It was a rather tasteless joke, knowing what Jada had been going through. But the way Will demonstrated his lack of control, it was unacceptable at every level. Because what that sets the precedent for is for comics and those people in that line of business to be attacked for saying whatever they like, which is what they do, right? They make jokes at everyone's expense, tasteless jokes, hopeless jokes, cheap shot jokes. So when that kind of joke is made, one could either respond in a mature fashion, in a controlled fashion, which espouses emotional intelligence, or one can go off the handle. Now, emotional intelligence is so important that it's actually talked about in the PMP exam content outline. In the PMP exam content outline, there's actually a task that is dedicated to it. And that's exactly what I'm going to be speaking about today. Emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? It reads in task 14, and it's the very last task in people. It reads, promote team performance through the application of emotional intelligence, EI. It says, assess behavior through the use of personality indicators. And then it says, analyze personality indicators and adjust to the emotional needs of key project stakeholders. Now, when we talk about what emotional intelligence is, it is two very important things. One is about you, understanding your emotions, understanding where you are on that spectrum of emotions at any time, and being able to control your emotions accordingly. Now, it's not just about your emotions, it's also about the emotions of others. So it's about understanding your emotions, understanding where you are on that spectrum of emotions, from blue maybe all the way down, being ice cold and cool, calm and collected, getting into the yellows, getting into the oranges. And when you're in the red, when you're mad, you're going to know, hey, I'm mad. It's probably good for timeout. As opposed to marching to a stage, how about I just march out of the building because I know what I'm going to do and it's not going to end well. That needs to be the mindset. Always being in control, because once a punch is thrown or once an angry word is said, you can never take it back. Like Whale can never take back that time. Those 30 seconds, it was very quick, but he will never be able to take it back again. And it's always going to go down on his record. Now, some people will say he's a hero, but for the most part, he's getting a lot of backlash for it. What makes it worse is that immediately after, a few minutes later, he's given the award that all through his career has kind of evaded him until, isn't it ironic that the night he gets the award is the night he displays this poor sense of judgment on his part? There are other ways one could handle it. It is never right to resort to fists, especially, hey, if you have friends in Hollywood, you know everyone's going to be roasted. There's some roasts that are like borderline, just cruel. But, Hollywood, they sit down there and they know, it's just friendly fire. No one means any harm. However, I understand the emotions involved when one's loved one that is going through some hard times seems to be made the butt of a joke. It could make you infuriated. But if you notice in the video, take a look at the body language. First few seconds of the joke, he was laughing. If he was truly offended right from the get-go, he wouldn't be smiling, he wouldn't be showing his teeth and laughing. So it makes you wonder, what triggered that? And then he had a smirk when he was walking off the stage. It was pretty Hollywood, if you wanted to call it that. And even Chris Rock himself said, this is the best TV, or however he said it. So the whole concept of emotional intelligence, understanding your emotions, when you're getting into that red, you got to pull back, you got to walk away. Don't be crazy. Just chill. Just chill. Take deep breaths. Don't do anything crazy. And then the second part of emotional intelligence is being able to bridle your emotions and then understanding the emotions of others, understanding where they are on that spectrum, and being able to influence. That's the key word. It's the better word. Being able to influence the emotions of others. That's really what it is. Now we're going to open up the PMBOK Guide, 6th edition, and I'm going to read to you a few instances where emotional intelligence has been broken down. The 6th edition, you got to love it. It's quite robust. It's like a dictionary, if you will, for the project manager to really understand the full gamut of project management. So here on page 705, it reads, emotional intelligence, the ability to identify, assess, and manage the personal emotions of oneself and other people, as well as the collective emotions of groups of people. So that singular act that happened last night, do you know that that could have caused a lot of people to just have a sour taste in their mouth, especially those who have witnessed similar things, bringing back flashbacks and things such as that. But emotional intelligence is all about the emotions of oneself and other people, as well as the collective emotions of groups of people. Okay, so that's one instance that we see emotional intelligence. Now let's go to the index and look for the other mentions, because it's one more mention. It's a little bit more robust that I want to read here. So for this, let's go to page 310, and then we'll go to page 349. All right, so here's page 310, and it reads, emotional intelligence. The project manager should invest in personal EI by improving inbound, that is, self-management and self-awareness, and outbound, relationship management competencies. Research suggests that project teams that succeed in developing team EI or become an emotionally competent group are more effective. Additionally, there is a reduction in staff turnover. All right, let's go over to page 349 and see what that has to offer. It reads, emotional intelligence is the ability to identify, assess, and manage the personal emotions of oneself and other people, as well as the collective emotions of groups of people. The team can use emotional intelligence to reduce tension and increase cooperation by identifying, assessing, and controlling the sentiments of project team members. So it says, identifying, assessing, and controlling the sentiments of project team members. Now, I take offense with that word control, because you cannot control and shouldn't aim to. So this is very poor choice of language on page 349. I would rather say identify, assess, and influence the sentiments. That's how I would say it, of project team members. It says anticipating their actions, acknowledging their concerns, and following up on their issues. So emotional intelligence, EI, being able to keep yourself in check. There are times when you're seething with rage, you want to do something crazy, don't do it. Don't do it. You'll never live it down. It's like those 30 seconds, they ain't going away. They're there forever. I remember working for an engineering company once, and my boss got so mad at a stakeholder, he took a glass container and flung it with full force on the wall. It shattered, and the sound reverberated all across the office. And that was the day everyone knew that, hey, this guy's got anger issues, he's got problems, you know. So there are things that trigger us, but when we find ourselves going outside of the norm or going outside of what is acceptable at a corporate level, but professional level, we know that we've goofed, we've crossed the line. And in this case, it's just unbelievable that that has happened. It's there, indelible record. It's a good lesson to learn. So in closing, my friends, this is task 14 in the people domain. Promote team performance through the application of EI, assess behavior through the use of personality indicators. And to be quite honest, in the real world, who uses all of these personality indicators on a day-to-day tactical basis? We don't. We just take a look and gauge. I think actually Chris Rock, he could actually gauge from Will's body language that wasn't going to end well. He wasn't coming to give him a hug. So when he saw his fist flying, he kind of moved in accordance to dodge that slap. I think he succeeded in dodging it a little bit for the most part, but you could hear that thud on the microphone. It's actually not funny. It's pretty serious. And then the last piece says, analyze personality indicators and adjust to the emotional needs of key project stakeholders. So based on people's personality indicators, and not to say that you're doing this religiously with MBTI, Myers-Briggs is what I mean, but you're not doing this with Myers-Briggs, going up and down, doing tests every day. No, you're just taking a look at people's body language, because body language trumps everything. Their stance, how they are standing, their position, and so on. That would really help you to know how to respond and position yourself in a communication situation. And that, my friends, is all of task 14. Thanks for joining me. What do you think? I'm curious to know. Shoot me a comment. Take care. Bye for now.